Hello, everybody. Alan Zlotorzynski, 321 Sportscast, coming to you live from the Rock Ledge Studios. And we really need to rename this Legends Studio because it's all we seem to get here. And I've got another one with me today in Space Coast Sports Hall of Famer, Titusville star and legend, Mike Cadore. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, my friend. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for being here. Let's talk about you a little bit before we talk about I GOT SKILLZ and why you are running another camp for another year and all that good stuff. And I mean, all that you do for the community, but your career, a Titusville legend. Talk a little bit about it.
Well, I wouldn't call it a legend.
Oh, come
It's an
on.
honor to be able to hear you to say that. It's always about a team concept. Very, very fortunate and blessed to come through Titusville and win 2 state championships that allowed me to go off to college, get an education, and then make it on to the next level. So that's something that I just consider a blessing. But when you talk about 321 in Brevard County, just to say you have 2 state championships doesn't mean anything. We got plenty state championships in football, basketball, soccer, you name it.
So humble, so humble. And, you know, I think aside from your athletic career, your professional career, college, high school, the thing that I love the most about you is the way that you give back to this community and what you do for this community. Mike, when did you decide that that was going to be something you did in life?
Well, actually, with my parents, it started with them. And at a younger age, you just didn't realize it. You just did what your parents told you to do. Help your neighbor, help your friend. And as I gotten older, I started realizing I never made those state championships or making it to the next level by myself. Someone helped me. And the reason why people were being able to come back to help was because others helped them along the way as well. Hence the phrase, if you don't serve your community now, don't expect your community to serve you later. It
is my favorite all-time expression, and I was hoping you were going to use it. I've stolen it. I've used it when I've emceed events. I'm telling you, it is. We need to get a banner made of that in here and put it up. What is your favorite aspect? What is the most satisfying part of what you do now?
Well, as an educator, working at Eastern Florida State College and still being blessed to work in law enforcement, is being able to see our youth who are coming through, whether it be through sports or their academics, coming back and helping their community, as well as our seniors who are now, they still have all the wisdom.
Right.
But our kids being able to have a relationship with them and supporting their community. That's the beauty that I love about it. Not just taking something and leaving the area, but being able to come back in your community and being able to serve.
I don't care who it is. I don't care what athlete it is, what age he is. You know, recently we were at Chauncey Gardner's draft party, and I watched, you know, CJ and Jamel Dean and all of the athletes that were there interact with you. You got the biggest hugs, the biggest hellos. How does that make you feel?
It is a feeling that is really indescribable. You know, to have those young men being able to make it to the professional level, and in a blink of an eye, you're thinking about when they were coming through, participating in the youth league sports, participating as volunteers and as coaches. And that's the one thing that I wish for them as they go on to this next level, that they continue to pass that baton and coming back and helping their community out.
Do you ever have to kind of reach out a little bit and say, you know, kind of guide former Brevard athletes and say, listen, I need to have a little conversation with you. Got to give back a little bit. Do you have those do you have to have those types of conversations sometimes?
Not as much now. Mm-hmm. When we were coming through high school back in the early, late 80s.
Me too.
Aging myself.
Me too.
We didn't have a lot of the football camps in the area, but this is what happens. When someone like a Gerald White will go off to the University of Michigan, or Johnny Ross will go off to college to Ohio State, my oldest brother Jeff Davis who went off to college, during the summertime, those guys would come back, take us out in the football field, and tell you this is what's going to be expected of you at the next level. So you couldn't feel sorry for yourself. If you got your butt knocked down, you got right back up. So they were preparing us. The same concept now. You have camps all over the place. But the beauty of it is having kids within your community who make it to the next level, being able to come back and help our students out. And that can be athletically, academically, socially as well.
We're here with Mike Cadore, all-time one of the best to ever step on a Brevard County, not just a football field, great athlete here in Brevard County, does so much here on the Space Coast. Let me ask you this question. The Titusville football program at the moment. Kareem Jackson has taken over. He's the fourth coach in 14 months there. We had an opportunity on 321 Sportscast to meet Coach Jackson. Great guy. Comes in from out of area. What needs to happen at Titusville to restore the Terrier pride?
Well, first of all, I want to commend Coach for being able to come in. Had an opportunity to be able to meet with him and talk to some of the student athletes, and he has a very, very strong philosophy. We got to rebuild the pride. We got to get a sense of pride back, not only with the student athletes and the teachers and the faculty, but the community as a whole.
Right.
It's very easy for a child to go wherever they want. And sometimes it may look greener on the other side, and you may be able to benefit from that. But I think when you're looking at not just Titusville, but any community as a whole, you got to build that relationship. And one of the ways you build that is being able to educate both sides, knowing what's going to be expected of you through an educational standpoint. You got to be able to encourage, because if you don't encourage the kids and those who are there and the parent involvement, you won't be able to empower them. And if you're not empowered, you're not going to be able to come back and give. And Titusville has lost that for quite some time now. Now, granted, they have other sports up there that are doing extremely well. Baseball is coming along really, really well.
Great. Your district champs, first time in 14 years.
District champs there. Titusville, the soccer team, the tennis team has done extremely well. So they're doing some great things there. But sometimes when you fall off in certain areas, that's sometimes where the focus is at. And I think forget that focus on that and come back to building and strengthening the community and being able to give back. And I think that'll help not only Titusville High School, but the 321 as a whole.
No question. We are here on 321 Sportscast, and a big reason we're here today with Mike Cadore is to talking about giving back and the kids in the community. You know, you hold a great football camp every year. It's my favorite camp of the year. It is I GOT SKILLZ, and I absolutely love this camp. How many years now?
This will be the 21st year.
Why is there a 20? Why did you stop?
Well, somebody put me on the spot a couple of years ago that I would continue to do this. But the blessing behind the camp, even when it started in year one, when you had guys such as James Folston and Hurley Brown and Danny Copeland, who I played with collegiately, these guys who came out, and I think year one there might have been 60 people there, 20 kids and about 40 volunteers, and that was the beauty. So the goal was, let's just make this thing get to 5 years. And many didn't think it would go to 5 years. But I tell you, one of the huge blessings from that, Alan, is though I was blessed to be drafted by the New Orleans Saints and play over in Montreal and coming back in the offseason to work out, I never played on an active NFL roster. Mm-hmm. But every year for the last 15 years, the NFL, USA Football, gives me money to bring a camp. The only thing they tell me is make the camp for free in your community. So we get some dads, we get some former high school, collegians, some guys with some pro experience, and they come out and they work out with these kids. So every year it's a challenge to make it work. Now, as you get a little bit older, you got to build your team.
Right.
And that team consists of really my daughter, who's a
well, she's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a terrific, your daughter does a terrific, and your whole family.
Yeah.
They do a great job. Mm-hmm. Who can we look forward to seeing there this year?
Well, as I stated earlier, they were supposed to stop at year 20. And then all of a sudden I get an email from the NFL saying, hey, look, we want you to be blessed to do this camp again. I says, wow. Then all of a sudden I get a phone call from Laurent Robinson, a former Rockledge High standout, went on to play many years in the NFL. He says, Mr. Cadore, I want to help you with your camp.
That's a beautiful thing.
And when he told me that, it just lit up in me. I'm saying, son, what prompted you to call me? That same concept. Mr. Cadore, I got a phone call, and then on my Twitter feed of kids telling me, why aren't you giving back in the community? I said, you got to be kidding me. And he said, it hurt me so bad. And I said, well, man, I got to start giving back. I thought I was doing.
Right.
He's doing some phenomenal things.
Oh, yeah.
He lives down in South Florida, doing some great things with his family. But he wanted to come back to Brevard County to give back. So to get that call from Laurent Robinson about coming to help out with Skills Camp was just amazing. Of course, we'll have our traditional Danny Copeland who will come and assist as well.
You know, I got a quick story to tell about the camp a couple of years ago. James Folston, not James Folston, I'm sorry.
Sneed?
No. I mean, other with the Washington Redskins.
Danny Copeland.
Danny Copeland was standing there, and this is how much work and effort they put into this. And I was talking to Coach Copeland, and I said, you okay? And he collapsed. And because he was in sweats, right? He was working out. The heat had gotten to him. And he got up and he looked at me and he said, "Yeah, I'm all right." I said, "Man, let's get you some water."
That's when you talk about relationships.
Yeah.
When I went to Eastern Kentucky, Danny and I played college ball together, and this Georgia boy I could not stand. Danny was 6 foot whatever, and here I am 5'8", 5'9", and those guys tried to tear my head off every day. And
they couldn't catch you.
Well, but when they got a hold of it, they tried to do some damage to it. But to have a relationship last that long, and watching not only their kids develop and doing great things in their community up in Thomasville, Georgia. One of his daughters actually came from Thomasville down to Eastern Florida, played tennis here, Danielle Copeland at Eastern Florida State College, went on to finish up at Benedict College. But just that relationship of continually giving back is just, it's a huge blessing.
It's amazing, and the information is there on the screen, and I would encourage everyone that wants to participate in this camp. Is there a cutoff date, or when do they have to register by?
Well, there will be registrations the day of, but we want to encourage everyone to pre-register.
Sure.
Because that allows the children who are coming to get the right sizes. But we're doing it now on that Father's Day weekend.
Right.
So we need that dad. Matter of fact, most of them ask yourself as a dad or an uncle, when was the last time you even played catch with your own son?
Right.
We need you guys to come on out
Have
there.
a catch.
Yes, and work with these young kids who have a vision that they want to take it to the next level. And even though it may not be athletically or academically in their own business, being able to have men in our community to come out to work with these kids on these drills. The new twist is we're going to be doing a 7-on-7. So we're going to have the high school kids and some of these collegiate kids working with the younger kids to do a 7-on-7.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
I last year you gave me the opportunity to speak to the older kids of the group about properly conducting yourselves in an interview and the dangers of social media. And I got an email. It was incredible because I got an email from a parent a couple days later, and I don't even know how they got my email, thanking me because she told me that her son was going to go on to Twitter and he was going to tweet something out, and he thought about something that I had said during that and just said, I think I said something like the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, and that's what he told his mom. And his mom said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Don't worry about it, Mom. I didn't tweet it out."
Well, you probably saved it. I'm glad that you didn't do that.
Right.
That's another lesson that they need to be told is if you're going to play sports and you're going to do extremely well at it, there's going to be a time when you're going to have to speak on camera.
Right.
And you have to be able to speak clearly, speak well. And I even tell the kids, I don't care what question that reporter may be asking you and you're trying to think about it, just make something up. Don't stutter. Don't pause. I don't care if they tell you, how was that touchdown? Well, it was a team effort.
Right. That's what there are standard answers. Learn to give them. And, of course, that's another thing we're going to do here at 321 Sportscast is we're going to invite all the student athletes that want an opportunity to learn how to do this right on into the studios because we learn from great mentors like you, Mike Cadore. Thank you so much for taking time with us today. All the information is there on the screen for the I Got Skills Camp coming up Father's Day weekend, and we all look forward to seeing you there. Of course, 321 Sportscast will be there all day long with live updates. It's a great camp, and we want you to be a part of it. So for Mike Cadore, I'm Alan Zlotorzynski with 321 Sportscast.